So you've been at Kanha Shanti Vanam for now 7 months, you were saying.
Yeah.
7 months. So how's that time been? Because 7 months is a long time to, you know.
Yeah, it's a long time. I came in October and my plan was to stay till January. So I had actually come a month before. I had a yoga training program, so I was going to become a certified yoga trainer. And I'd come a month before kind of just to kind of get the vibe of the place, kind of just to settle in nicely. And during that month, I was able to kind of spend, it was still kind of pandemic time. There was still things were not opened up. So it was very kind of personal, quiet time in this kind of sanctuary. And I really liked it. I really liked it when things were quiet and I was able to go on walks. And I did get a lot of time with kind of the global guide during that point with Kanha Shanti Vanam, so Daaji. Seeing other people come in and meditating from all different kind of faiths, religions, backgrounds, and I learned a lot of things such as, poise. Having poise is really important, or, joking around, and, I can tell this freely. There was, one day I was just like super upset and, I was just really sad. I guess I was really homesick that day. And, he walked in on me crying and he was like, oh no, like what's wrong? And, I just like couldn't answer. He's like, who are you on the phone with? I'm like, my mom. And he was like, cut the call. So, I cut the call on my mom and I'm like, oh my God, I hope my mom understands. And, later on he was like, these US kids have no like mental strength. They don't, they can't do anything. And my tears started becoming anger. I was like, what do you mean I have no mental strength? But he was joking about it, so his goal was achieved. It got me in a happy mood. I wasn't upset or sad anymore. So things like that, I felt I was getting comfortable with the place because it was the first time I was coming to India alone, and there was a little bit of homesickness, a little bit of uncertainty of like how to get things done, and so that kind of the close set of friends that I had here who knew I was coming made me feel comfortable. And then yoga training started, and that was a whole different experience. I would recommend everyone doing it. I would really recommend. It seems really tough before and kind of going through it, but at the end you're like, wow, like, yeah, it was a 1-month program. Like, so every Sunday a yoga class. The last 2 weeks was super intensive. From 10:30 to 8:30 at night we were doing yoga with 2 hours of theory packed in somewhere there. And
Theory too. Wow.
Theory too.
And diet, you had to watch your diet?
We did. Only leafy greens, although I'm sure a lot of us kind of cheated at one point. No oils, no sweets, no no spicy food, no high carbs, no bread. So I was like, well, there goes breakfast, there goes toast in the morning. So that was but the 2 weeks was actually quite eye-opening. Most people think of yoga as boring. So I had actually started yoga about 3-4 years ago in high school, and they were like, I was a swimmer. So they're like, you need to pick another activity as well. Because, colleges need to see you're all-rounded and etc., etc. So I was like, what's super easy that I can do by myself and that, no one's going to be like, oh, you're doing that wrong. So I was like, yoga. And thankfully we had someone nearby who was a yoga, yoga trainer and practitioner. And so, I would train with her and it was more of, us chatting than doing yoga, but I had fun. I learned off and on here and there. And during the pandemic, when the gyms were closed, everything was closed. I was like, not that I went to the gym anyway, but it was kind of an excuse. I was like, I can't work out now. And so I was like, okay, maybe I should try yoga again. And so I would do it about 3 times a week. And as I was doing it throughout the year, I wanted to get more and more involved in it. So I was like, okay, I think becoming a teacher is kind of the next step for me where I can really imbibe what it is to do yoga. So I was looking out for programs and Heartfulness came out with one. So I was like, oh, that's wonderful. I can tie it in, come to Kanha. So I came and I did the program here, and yoga for me, like I said, was always kind of, slow and easy, and I think that's the perception everyone has, that it's slow and boring. It is not slow and boring.
I mean, this is the most cliched question that everybody asks.
Yeah.
How has it helped you? How has it changed you? What's meditation done for you?
Yeah, if I see what meditation has done for me, I think it's been, what I'm seeing now is less quick to judge. You know, we make so many judgment calls throughout the day, like snapshot judgments, you know, if you're, you know, what color shirt to wear, you know, when we're walking down the street, does that person look safe? Does that road look safe? There's so many judgments we will make in like a nanosecond that run throughout our head. And sometimes some of those judgments are not accurate, especially when they come to people. And psychology teaches that a lot. Like first impressions, you know, they don't really speak much about the person. So, which is a pretty sad thing that most interviews and most companies place a lot of pressure on the first interview. But yeah, which is, I guess now sidetrack. But I definitely started to be more accepting of the situation, more accepting of people. And, you know, you can kind of say it on face that, okay, yeah, you know, I accept it, but internally, do you really accept it? And that kind of disconnect always bothers you until there's kind of like a connect with, you know, okay, like, I truly, like, it's okay. I truly accept it. And I think that truly part is what I got. Because, you know, externally, you can say all you want. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. But, like, internally, if you're like, oh my god, I'm going to yell at this person later, I'm going to write about them in my diary, you know, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of connect where the two merge, where I'm like, it's okay externally, it's okay internally, everything's cool. That kind of change I've seen has come across. And, you look at everything more positively.
Sure.
Which, you know, most people are like, but weren't you positive to begin with? Which I think I would like to say I am, but you see things even more positively, and you're more happier with the way things there are. Like I found there are instances where sometimes things don't go your way, and you know, it's really easy to get angry and frustrated, and I support that and I understand, but with meditation it's helped me be like, again, it's okay, internally and externally. So that kind of unification of my thoughts has happened, which I think is really important.